This is a ticket to the party.
Evening, boys. Pitch it! First service.
You gotta love Mohammed.
Oh! That is a moment of absolute magic from Federer.
It's Murray magic, though.
Djokovic, what are you doing?
He's got quite a large gluteus maximus.
I've never seen anything like it.
Hello there, and welcome to the first ever edition of the Loosely Strung Tennis Podcast. There we go. Okay, guys, how are we all? My name is Calum Roberts. I'll be leading today. I've got four other young strapping men with me. We have Callum Price. How you doing, my good friend?
Oh, I'm doing very well, so that's lovely to see you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we finally made it here after all this chat that we were going to be doing this.
Oh, I know, it's took a while, I've also got on my left Gary Brown. Gary, it's lovely to have you here. How are you doing?
Thank you, Callum. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
We've got Ross Skinner as well. So Ross, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm on top of the world, actually. I'm actually a wee bit sore as well because I played too much tennis this weekend. So
Nightmare. He's getting old.
I'm an old man.
And finally, we've just about got him here, but we've got the mercurial Ross Patrick. Ross Patrick, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I hope everyone listening's feeling as good as we are right now, but start off in this little adventure. So yeah, pretty good, man.
Well put, Ross.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. 4 tournaments this week we're going to cover. We had the WTA event in Guadalajara. That's where Jessica Pegula defeated Maria Sakkari 6-2, 6-3. In Stockholm in the ATP Tour, Holger Rune defeated Tsitsipas 6-4, 6-4. In Antwerp, Felix Auger-Aliassime defeated Seb Korda 6-3, 6-4. And in Napoli, eventually, messageThe defeated Berrettini 7-6, 6-2. Okay, so let's start with the female tour. Okay, obviously Sakkari losing in the final to Jessica Pegula, but in doing so, making the final, she has qualified for the WTA finals. She beat Kudermetova in a straight shootout. Now, I love the idea of that straight shootout. That is something both tours, in my opinion, need to pick up on. What do you think, Ross?
I generally think it's such a good idea. I think you saw how Sakkari and Mentova the other day were so tight when they're playing each other that you could feel the tension on side the court. And the only reason Sakkari got through was because of the big points. She won the big points. And could you imagine that in front of a home crowd? Everyone's cheering you on. It would just be unbelievable tennis.
We don't get them sort of matches often, but when we do, there's such a buzz around it. We had it recently with Alcaraz and Ruud shooting off for the US Open and world number 1. Djokovic and Murray had it in 2016, which had a lot of buzz around it as well, and world number 1 on the line and the tour finals on the line. So when they happen, there's a ton of buzz around it. It's just if it happens more often, then there should be more buzz.
No, I totally agree, but I think it should be held in someone's hometown, home city. For me, that's so important. Imagine like Andy Murray is 8th in the race and he has to do a playoff with 9th, and say that 9th is like, I don't know, back in the day you look at like David Ferrer or something, and we're like in Glasgow, a shootout, Andy Murray v David Ferrer, everyone at each other, like, come on, how good would that be?
That would be really good, but can we switch it around and go to the south of Spain, make it a weekend of it, have a good time instead?
Great way to.
Yeah, but I think especially the way the tour's going, there's just so much aggro at the moment, so many players developing these rivalries so early on. They've not even necessarily played so much, but it's all taken itself to social media, and I think that would just show like the real bad side to tennis, because that's what you want. You want a wee bit of that heated. I don't know how to describe it. You know what I mean? Heated results.
But needle.
Argument. Needle. That's what aggro. Needle. That's what we want.
Aggro. We need aggro.
Surely the WTA and ATP must have some sort of concept they could put out that would encourage these kind of matches to take place.
Moving on, we're going to speak a little bit about the tournament in Naples, where I previously said messageThe defeated Berrettini 7-6, 6-2. That tournament in Naples, though, jeez,
shambles.
It's had a shocker, hasn't it? With the players refusing to play on the court, so the court gets shipped in from the previous week in Florence. That's
you couldn't write that, could you?
Yeah, they had to move qualifying to a different place so they could actually put a new court in. Players just saying that there's no way I'm playing on this. Corentin Moutet, he got he got an audible obscenity for swearing at the court that no one else at the court, straight down to the court, he gets a code violation for that. Like, that's brilliant, eh?
That's mad, but you'd think surely hosting an ATP event you would be a little bit more organised.
Well, it was a challenger last year, and because things had changed this year, they decided to up it to a 250. But you're right, Gary, it's shambolic that you're allowed to have a tournament and nothing be ready. I mean, like, this is live on TV.
Well, it was meant to be on the telly. The coverage for the final went down and you could only watch it in Italy and on betting sites in the UK. Shambles.
Please gamble responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
But no, it turned out to be a good tournament for the Italians at the end of the day, with Berrettini and Musetti making the final. Any thoughts on a little bit of Berrettini Musetti? Could they have a decent 2023? I've got a few sayings about them, but let Callum Price have a go.
I mean, I know the guys made the chocolate, but I expected a lot more from Berrettini. I really did think he was going to win that. I would have put my house on him winning that match. But I'll take it back. Musetti obviously is a talent. He's one who he's been a much more common name in the tennis households, I'm sure. But I don't know if anyone's got anything else to say about that, because I certainly think Berrettini is a much better player than losing a challenger, 250, to Musetti.
Tell you what, do you want to hear a fun fact about Musetti?
Go for it.
Do you know what his favourite character ever has been on TV or film?
No.
John Wick, which I automatically think makes him a cooler guy, and he could actually be like, see, for just fun facts like that, I like him.
Take it back, I'm not surprised to beat Berrettini after that.
He's a family guy, doesn't have a girlfriend, so he keeps his mind on tennis, loves all these different action films and all that. Good guy in my books.
What's your favourite character, Ross, or have you got another one that you're in your head that's your favourite TV, film character that you love?
You're asking a loaded question there, but if you're asking me any TV or film character of all time, who's my favourite?
Yeah.
It's got to be Gandalf, man.
Yes.
Gandalf.
This is it.
That's a terrible
shout.
No.
Ross and I are on the same wavelength.
Okay. The Rosses are together. What are you bringing up to this? What are you saying?
I'm an Iron Man guy.
Oh. I'm a bit on edge here because I've seen like 15 films and 12 of them are Star Wars, so
Jeez,
I'm gonna have to go out and say something like Darth Vader or something. I've not got much knowledge. I just love tennis. I've got no time for it.
Like guy.
My favourite character's Novak Djokovic.
Probably along the same lines as Callum, probably like an Iron Man type.
What do you mean Iron Man type? What do you mean? Like Iron Man?
Yeah,
Iron
but
Man
kind
like
of
Batman?
cool, like entrepreneurial Batman.
An entrepreneur? You're a business guy?
Batman, but
you just watch like Lawyer, mate.
makes plenty of money, but then does some good deeds as well.
That's the thing with Batman and Iron Man and all them. They don't do good deeds. They do bad deeds and pretend to be good people.
Yeah. It's like, I won't kill you, but your hospital bills will. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah. Let's just destroy the full city and then go, we're good guys, yay!
You know, this actually leads perfectly on to what I was going to talk about next, right? Because I've got this thing in my head that the media shape Patrick Mouratoglou as like a Bond villain or a mob boss, alright? And I've looked at it now with him having Tsitsipas and Holger Rune, who obviously played in the final in Stockholm. They're like his two henchmen, yeah? Like, they are like two henchmen for Mouratoglou. I was thinking that if you were a mob boss, right? If you were a mob boss or the main man in a bad guy organisation, you're looking through that tennis tour. Skinner, who are you picking?
So, see, the minute you asked me that question, I think of, if you're thinking Bond, one of the new ones, Daniel Craig, had Dave Bautista in it. Just a big muscle man, hardly said any words in the film, just batter people, right? And that for me, as a player that's now retired, he was a silent assassin when he played. Big dirty giant forehand, big dirty giant serve, Marat, Safin, and tell me I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong, Ross, but the thing that you're missing that every bad guy has is alliteration. And there's nobody who's badder on tour than Benjamin Bonzi. Nothing strikes fear into anyone more than a double barrel, a BB or a PP.
Right, okay.
It's a good shout.
Can you please just say that name one more time?
Okay, well, look at me in the eyes. I know this isn't good for the podcast. Look me in the eyes and tell me that Benjamin Bonzi is not striking absolute fear into you. He's sneaking up the rankings and he's flying.
I just think of them wee trees when I think of him, though.
A bonsai tree?
Yeah. So he's a bit more like disarming than like a mob boss or a henchman guy. He's a tree to me.
See, I honestly think great shout from the both of you. Maybe Callum not so much, right? 'Cause he's not a really scary guy. I've got one in my head, right? And do you know, like in movies, you get like this wee evil bald guy all the time, right? Nikolai Davydenko.
Oh yeah.
He's evil, by the way. I'm not saying he's an evil guy in real life, in case you're listening, Nikolai. But he looks like he could be a serial bad guy in a film. Like there's something up with him.
He's like the puppet master.
He is a puppet master.
Yeah.
But a puppet master's always got somebody doing his dirty work. Evil Karlovic. Absolute
Evil
monster.
Karlovic. I love it.
6'10" Croat. You would not want to bump into him in an alleyway. Big, powerful guy.
No way to catch a slap off that guy, man.
No.
He is massive.
Yeah, the way he slaps that serve, that's...
He'd be ruining your tuxedo.
Oh, yeah.
So getting back to the tennis anyhow, Holger Rune, title winner. I think he has a big 2023 ahead of him, you know. He's took Cam Norrie out in 3 sets, Alex de Minaur out in 3 sets, and then obviously a straight sets win against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Alright, so seriously, I do think that this boy is going to be up there challenging soon. What's your thoughts, Ross Skinner, on that then?
Honestly, see when he won that weekend there, the thing that impressed me the most was his percentage of first serves in was insane, and just how he gave nothing. I think he only had like 1 break point against him, and that was it. And when you're serving that well, playing that dominantly, how are you going to lose?
Do you know what it is about him as well? He like has this like arrogance about him, and he looks like he's filling out. He has this like aura he gives off of like, I'm better than you, and maybe he's not all the time, but he has got that confidence, I think, where it's like that thin line, but you know, I think it could be good. Yeah, Cam?
No, I totally agree. He struts about that court as if he's the one on 20 odd Grand Slam titles, and like, so am I right in saying his ages with Alcaraz? 19, they're both 19, aren't they?
I think they're similar ages.
Very similar ages, and there's absolutely no denying that Alcaraz is definitely the better competitor. We've seen it. He's won on the biggest stage. He's brilliant, but I think the way that Rune is carrying himself is just going to help him progress. No matter how much you like the arrogance or not, but yeah, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, carrying on from that point, Callum, you watch Rune and he always plays on the edge. He can go one way or the other, but if he manages to keep his head kind of level, but just with that little bit of almost anger there, he's going to be tough to beat. He absolutely smacks the ball.
It's just one of them things, like, people talk about the super coaches, etc. all the time, but it does seem like Mouratoglou does have a good track record of being successful, and maybe that's that personalities that you think would clash, but they'll probably work well together, and he can definitely go on. So I'm going to put the question to all of you of who is having the better 2023, Holger Rune or Stefanos Tsitsipas?
I'm thinking Rune, just because Tsitsipas in the slams recently has been a bit off the boil. He's bottled a couple of things. I think, what was he in the first round of the US Open? He lost the first 11 games, didn't he? The first round,
it was something like that. You're right. Yeah,
he was like 11 one down, 11 love down. I think Rune, he's on a trajectory right now, and he's got that scalp over Tsitsipas at the end of this year, and I think that just puts him. It puts his chin up a bit more going into next year.
I totally see what you're saying, but I think it's got to be Tsitsipas. He's been there. We've talked about. He's had the bottles. Surely he's got over that by now.
Has he got the bottle?
Such a talented tennis player. I hate watching him win, especially after what he did to my man Andy Murray. But Rune hasn't had the chance to bottle it yet. Fair enough, he's gone and he's beaten Tsitsipas. He's not been on the biggest stages with everyone booing him and hating him when he's winning. But no, I think Tsitsipas has got a slam in him next year.
Is Tsitsipas as talented as we all make out, or is it just because he looks as good as Federer when he plays?
No, I think he's a winner. Tsitsipas will be a winner. He's got it in his head to win, and I don't think he is as good as watching Federer when he plays. I'm sure everyone in the tennis world will agree with that. There's nothing better than watching Federer, but he's a winner. He's got that mentality.
You know, I can see where everyone's coming from, and I've been looking through Holger Rune's results. You know, obviously, Ross, you're looking at him as having a good 2023 US Open, straight sets lost to Norrie. French Open 3-1 against Casper Ruud, who obviously made the final, but still, and they lost first round of Wimbledon this year as well. You know, I think he's a few years away from having that incredible run.
That was my thought exactly, Callum. It is. See, if you were saying 2023, I'm going to have to agree with Price saying we never agree on anything here. And it's because Tsitsipas have a better 2023, but if you ask me who's going to have a better 2025, 2026, further down the line when he's basically matured and become a better tennis player, definitely Rune.
See, I didn't say that Rune was going to have a big 2023. I think he's just going to be better than Tsitsipas this year. I don't think they're both going to be super outstanding the whole year, but I think Rune is just going to be a little bit just edging next year. But Tsitsipas, I don't see him win the Slam in 2023. Hey, if he does, brilliant, amazing for him, but I'm not seeing that.
So, put it to you then, Ross B. See Rune, what would you say is a good year for Rune next year? What is for you like that as progression?
I think if he gets deep in a few Masters, wins one of them, wins the Masters, would be an excellent year for him. I'm not saying he's going to go and win a Slam next year, but I think if he wins the Masters next year, that's amazing.
I agree.
Do you think he's got that in him?
I think
if Cam Norrie and Taylor Fritz, and the way that Masters are going now, that you're not Djokovic and Nadal aren't playing everyone.
Yeah, there's more opportunity.
People are beating everyone. Borna Coric won one, and he was 100 odd in the world at the time. There's a definite chance that someone like Holger Rune can take a scalp.
Do we see him having as much of an improvement next year as we've seen in Alcaraz this year?
I don't think you'll ever see that again.
No. I don't think you even need to look at trophies for him. I think he's 25th in the world just now. I don't know if that's going to change now that he's won a trophy, but I think he cements himself in the top 20 comfortably, and that's a good year for him in my opinion, because look at the competitiveness of who the top 10 are. You can't just say because he's suddenly won something he's going to shoot himself up there.
Yeah, I can see him maybe making a Slam semi, and also I'd say a good aim for him would be to qualify for the ATP finals.
Yeah, talking about big 2023s, there's a man on everyone's lips just now. Alright, 2 tournaments in a row. Felix Auger-Aliassime defeats Seb Korda 6-3, 6-4. He's flying, you know. He is absolutely flying. Defeats Djokovic at the Laver Cup. You know, he is on one, and I'm sure we all here have an opinion on his 2023 and his future.
Calum Roberts, see when you're eloquently speaking there, Mr. Price huffed.
Yeah, but can you blame me? I mean, come on, he's the biggest flash in the pan that we've seen in the tour, and as long as I've been watching tennis.
Wow, alright. You have just attacked me, Ross Skinner, on Felix's corner right now. Have you seen how that boy's been serving?
That is literally the point. That's why he's not got it in him. He's not got a winner serve. I'm telling you, that guy's not a winner.
Right, I'm going to tell you something right now. See, from about, I think it was 3 Wimbledons ago, I put him on to win it. And how
did that go on?
Oh, it went terribly.
Oh,
of course.
Sorry.
I think he got quite far actually.
But did he win it?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No.
Okay, sorry.
But I genuinely do believe this is him now coming into it. He's no longer a young teenage boy. He's now kicking on and becoming an actual man. And you see service percentage of that weekend there again. I know I love service percentages. It's my thing. But he was serving so well. And how can you argue that he is not going to be kicking off from that?
Okay, right, great. He's serving well just now, but it's been looked at all through his career that I don't know if it's an arrogance or if it's a stubbornness to not change his serve. He needs it, and he's with Uncle Tony now. Obviously, that's something else we can talk about in a minute, because I think Uncle Tony coming out and saying he wouldn't support him against Rafa is just a totally wrong mentality. If you want to win, your coach wants you to beat everyone. But just before we go back into that, Uncle Tony never had Rafa serving bombs, changing his serve. This new sort of high risk, high reward Rafa came under Carlos Moya. So I think when you look at Felix, that serve is not going to change, in my opinion. I'd love to be wrong, but let's see.
I think that serve has changed slightly recently. They done it. There was a graphic at the Labour Cup. I think it was the Labour Cup. He had the most aces that tournament. He had 16 aces. I think it might be more than that, but he had the most aces that tournament. And the graphic they did, his ball toss I think was actually slightly more together, so his serve was tougher to read. There's been a slight change in his serve, and it's still a pretty good serve. It's not like
I wouldn't say no to it if you were asking me, can I have Felix's serve?
You've not got a bad serve.
But no, of course not.
You've not got a bad serve, Cal.
Look, end of the day, when you retire in tennis, it's all about how many slams you've won or
Put
how
your
many
medals on the
majors,
table.
right? We're looking at his best results. Quarter final of the Australian Open this year, 4th round of the French Open this year, 1st round of Wimbledon this year, and 2nd round of the US Open this year. He looked fantastic in Australia, and I was so sure the match against Medvedev, up there, top 5 match of the year, it was unbelievable, right? He lost. Okay?
Why did he lose, Cal?
Do you know what? I actually think Medvedev was just unbelievable. He was so good, right? But then you're looking at other losses. He loses to self-proclaimed future world number 1 Maxime Cressy. Okay. He also loses to Jack Draper, alright, who is also an up-and-coming talent, but right now he shouldn't be losing that.
Nah.
That's first round of the US Open. It's all well and good winning these small tournaments, so not to be harsh on them, but they are a lot smaller than slams. I just don't know if he has that in him to produce it at the biggest stage.
Right. All I'm going to say is when we get onto the new season and there's going to be someone in Felix's corner, I am planting my flag. I'll be setting up base camp. I'll be setting up my tent. I'll be putting my flares off. I am fully in Felix's corner, and I will be for all 2023. Thank you very much.
Well, Skinny, I'll tell you right now, that'll be a one-man tent because he's not going anywhere.
I'll help you put that tent up, Skinny. Honestly, that I'm with you on that. I think we're both against the Callums here. The guy,
I'm pro Felix.
Yeah, we go through against.
I had him down as winning the US Open this year, and that didn't go very well.
Since US Open, how's he been?
He's been fantastic.
He's been fantastic. But also big stage. Labour Cup's a pretty big stage.
It's an exhibition, Ross.
It's a glorified exhibition.
It was literally made so that Federer can retire.
That's all.
Oh, come on.
It's going to get renamed, and we're all going to love it. We're not going to watch Rafa and Roger play doubles anymore because obviously Roger's chucked it, and that's the death of the Labour Cup is Roger retiring.
But if we could get the Labour Cup on a par with the Ryder Cup like they have in golf, imagine how good that would be.
Nah, it's miles off.
Nah, miles
no
away.
chance.
No chance.
All I'm going to say is what Calum said about 2022, and I'm starting the Australian Open so well. If he kicks on from this, performs well from there, and performs in the build up to the French, we'll have a different conversation about it. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm a believer.
Yeah. Well, we just got to hope that he doesn't have that end of season luck that most people do, and it dies off at the start of 2023.
You're a jinx.
Anyhow, we're going to move on to just a small part because I'm sure everyone knows and everyone's seen it all over that Simona Halep tested positive for a banned substance. And you know, that's a pretty tough one. I've seen a few reactions to it. Kyrgios replied something to a tweet. I didn't know if he was pushing it to say she had, or he was saying she hadn't. You know, he's obviously just one of these figures. What if she's doped? Then what do you think happens to her? Like, in your opinion, do you scrap her?
Do you know what? First of all, whether she's guilty or innocent, you're a professional athlete. You should be knowing what's going on in your body. The fact you're even remotely testing positive for any banned substance, if you weren't doing it, what are you doing? You should be control your own diet, control your everything. There it is. But if she is found guilty, off it to her. Get it done. Break her off. Because as simple as that, I hate cheating in sport, and especially when you absolutely sour the beautiful sport of tennis, it's even worse.
Well, it might come as a surprise to all of you sitting here. I don't know her personally, right? But see, at this level of the sport, Ross, and we can see how sports obviously developed over even your lifetime. You're just that little bit older than me, of course. But of course, like, they do rely on their teams. Like, if you've got a nutritionist or you've got a coach.
Who's our coach again?
The
mob boss. The mob boss.
It's all coming together.
He's back.
But like, do you see what I'm saying with that though? Because at that level, and if you want to be the best, you do start trusting these people. So she probably did think she knew what's going on in her body. You do trust these people. You take your team on.
Well, I'm sure. At the end of the day, we wish her well, and we hope that the truth eventually comes out.
Well, I'm going to say this, Simone, if you are listening, it's Simone, if you are listening anyway, and you do end up not available to play on the tour, you'd always be welcome to come and play against me. I do have it that I would beat you. Don't think I'm not confident. So.
What would the score be?
It would be love, and love.
No
with or without any sort of...
No way.
Okay, and we're on to our second last part of the show, and that would be Ross Patrick's winners and losers of the week. So Ross, who have we got? Let's start with the losers. Who have we got for the losers? Get that out of the way.
Whoever was in charge of the logistics of the Napoli tournament. It's got to be, because
They've took the L.
They took the L, man. That was a shit show.
Okay, Ross, and give us your winner of the week.
This guy wasn't even on court, and he's still my winner of the week because he's got a song written after him.
Oh, jeez.
It's amazing. There's a line in it that's kind of weird though, and it's a bit sus. It's like the smoothest little dude. And I don't know where they got that from, how they know that, how he's the smoothest little dude. It's a bit weird, I don't know, but to have a song named after you and a band perform it at like live gigs, you gotta be a winner there, man.
You're leaving the tension. Who is this player?
Oh, Casper Ruud.
So we've got Casper Ruud as our winner of the week, and the city of Naples as the,
not the city, man. I'd love to go there one day. I'm not shitting on the whole city.
Unwelcome in Naples.
Just like whoever's in charge of logistics.
Yeah, okay, so we're on to our final part. This will run till the end of the year, and it will restart again next year. So this is our predictions. Okay, we've got our predictions. We'll get points for the predictions. That will be based on the odds that certain bookmakers...
Please gamble responsibly.
The certain bookmakers give out, and we'll see who wins at the end of the year. Whoever is bottom will have to buy everyone else in the group a pint on a night out. A couple of pints down.
That'll be great because it's not going to be me, you know.
Okay, so we've got our predictions for next week. I'll start with myself. I have looked at the Vienna draw, and I am going for Rublev. Rublev is my pick for next week. It's got something about him. I think he loves the 500s, and yeah, for me, he is the man in Vienna. Callum Price, have you got?
I'll stick with Vienna. I think this week we're going to see Dan Evans lift a trophy for the first time in a little bit of a while.
Wow. I mean,
he was due to play Berrettini, but of course, as per discussed, Chocolate Man, he's had to pull out.
What's this Chocolate Man?
Well, you know, chocolate melts easily, breaks easily, those joints
chocolate
just
teapot, like you're fragile and you can... Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
But he's a man, not a teapot.
made the chocolate.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so an easy first round for him, and then I believe Karen Kachanov is already in the second round. That's seeing Evans could buy him dead easy.
Evans as well on the booking.
Yeah, Ross Skinner. Let's get your prediction for this week. We've not heard it yet.
I'm going to go all the way to Basel. And the reason I'm going to pick this man is very simple. I'm going to pick Dinamo.
Who? Dinamo.
Nice one, mate. Nice one.
Well, yeah, I've been recording for a while, so...
Yeah.
We'll let you off with it.
Is it Dinamo?
It might be...
I cannot speak tonight.
Dinamo.
There
we go.
Dinamo. And I'm picking him because a couple of weeks ago he lost to Runa.
Yep.
Big match, win the distance.
Okay.
First round this week. If he wins that, confident brews, his draw's not the worst. I think he might just do it.
You can just re-enter under another name as well, I suppose.
I know, you could just do that, couldn't you?
Ross Patrick, have we got your tip for next week?
Yeah, the Rosses are staying in Basel this week. My heart is saying Andy Murray, but I've got to go with my smoothest little dude again. I think Ruud is going to go through and take this title. Casper Ruud.
And finally, we've got Gary.
Back to Vienna for me. I feel like this man's got a big week. He's been relatively quiet recently. We all had really high hopes for him. Tail end of the year, going into the US Open. My man this week's going to be Taylor Fritz.
Okay. So there we go. We've run through it again. We've got De Minaur in Basel for Ross Skinner, Rublev for myself in Vienna, Fritz for Gary in Vienna, Ruud for Ross P in Basel, and Evo for Price in Vienna. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our podcast. Thank you very much from myself and all the boys for listening. And we'll see you again next week.
Boomski! Thanks for coming.